Imagine getting paid just for sharing your thoughts on products and services you use every day. With Survey Junkie, it's that simple. Click on the link in the video description to discover how you can start earning today by taking surveys.
A 3-episode Hulu true crime docuseries is set to tell the story of serial killer profiling, and the woman who changed the way murderers were hunted down forever. Dr. Ann Burgess, 87, was working as a psychiatric nurse specializing in rape victimology in the 1970s when she was recruited by the FBI to help them understand the minds of violent sexual offenders and killers in order to catch them. Burgess' story of how she revolutionized serial killer profiling, whilst raising 4 children, will be shared in the upcoming Hulu series, Mastermind, To Think Like a Killer, made by executive producers Elle and Dakota Fanning. In a statement to Entertainment Weekly, the sisters said they wanted to share the story of an unsung female hero, for the first time. It's deeply empathetic towards victims and their loved ones, a real journey through the lens of the psychology of profiling, and ultimately a galvanizing message, the Fanning sisters said in the statement. The pair said they were drawn to Burgess' ability to stay positive, despite how traumatic her work was. That, plus her bravery and conviction, made us immediate fans, they said. She was underestimated but still persisted until she changed the entire landscape. Here, Female looks at Dr. Ann Burgess and her 6-decade-long career, where she worked with the FBI's Behavioral Science Unit and tracked down some of America's most notorious serial killers. The docuseries is inspired by the 2021 book, A Killer by Design, Murders, Mind Hunters, and My Quest to Decipher Criminal Minds, which was co-written by Burgess and Connell School of Nursing Associate Director of Marketing and Communications Stephen Constantine. Burgess grew up in Newton, Massachusetts, in the 1950s, and made the choice to become a nurse after being inspired by 3 of her uncles who were all doctors. She attended Boston College to study nursing, where she did a psychiatric unit which piqued her interest in human behavior. Burgess spent many years studying human behavior and frequently interviewed victims of crime, learning how to draw the right information out of them to help identify their attackers. The expert noted that a lot of the time she and her colleagues were often the first medical professionals to see victims after a crime, which put them in the best position to observe their behaviors and reactions. Burgess completed her dissertation research to become an assistant professor at Boston College in 1969, which led to her meeting Linda Lytle Holmstrom, a sociologist at Boston University. Holmstrom approached her with the idea of publishing a study about the victims of rape and sexual abuse, which was groundbreaking at the time since psychologists and law enforcement often disregarded such victims. The attitudes toward rape at the time were that it was not talked about, or, if it was, there was a blame the victim mentality, Burgess explained in an interview with Boston College. Working with the Boston City Hospital, the pair interviewed rape victims after they had been admitted, speaking with a total of 146 survivors in total who ranged in age from 3 to 73 over the course of a year. Their findings were published in a 1973 article titled The Rape Victim in the Emergency Ward, suggesting that rape was more about power and control than sex. They also highlighted how police, health institutions, and the criminal justice system treated victims of rape. Burgess and Holmstrom also urged for clinicians to be trained to recognize the signs of rape, particularly if patients don't mention an attack. The article caught the attention of the FBI in 1978, and the then-director William Webster reached out to ask for Burgess' help with rape victims and their attackers. Webster invited Burgess to the FBI Academy to share her knowledge about rape victims and how talking to them helped track down their rapists. The series documents Burgess' recruitment by the FBI, and how she pioneered research on sexual assault and trauma in the 1970s and 1980s. At the time, the FBI was made up primarily of men, and sexual violence against women wasn't taken seriously. Burgess' research led her to a discovery which changed the way criminals are tracked down forever, by getting in the minds of the killers. After working with both victims and listening to tapes from the offenders, she ascertained it was imperative to understand an attack.